Hi YouTube friends, Gail's here. Back to play some more Rewritten. It's been a while. Once again, not going to play through the introduction, so be sure to watch the first part where I did Klaus's route if you want to see an introduction to all the characters from Rewritten. I think I'm going to go for Nightshade's route this time. I like Nightshade. He's a fun character. He kind of reminds me a lot of myself. So yeah, I think of all the characters, I could probably relate to him the most. But we'll see. We'll see. Alright. Maybe he'll surprise us. There's got to be something I can help with. Oh, Nightshade and Amos are cleaning out the front desk. I think they'll need my keys to get into the cash register. They seem to be hard at work already. Nightshade is busy wiping down the counter, while Amos sorts out the huge pile of paperwork that was hiding in the shelves. I wonder if book people get tired. Wait, should I have offered them something to drink? Do book people drink things? Or would they melt away like a piece of paper? I stare at them for a minute, contemplating every possible logistical question all at once until Nightshade's voice drags me back to reality. Kindly keep out of my cleaning area. I'm just trying to lend you a hand. You missed a pretty big chunk over there. Uh-oh, are people fighting already? Hey guys, is everything going okay here? Oh yeah, Vince and I are just getting to know each other. I think he's pretty swell. How many PhDs did you say you have? Nightshade's eye twitches when Amos calls him Vince. I have 7 PhDs, not that I need any of them to be qualified to wipe a table on my own. Thank you. Nightshade tries to hip check Amos out of the way to reach the other end of the counter, but Amos doesn't seem to notice. You hear that, Gil? 7 PhDs, and so young. He's got to be some kind of genius or something. Amos claps Nightshade on the back, and Nightshade is smashed flat against the counter. Amos! You! I follow Nightshade's horrified gaze down to where one of the counter's drawers had burst open. Ah, gross. The inside is covered top to bottom with a thick carpet of green mold. Nightshade looks like he's going to throw up. Oh, Yucksville. Must be kind of interesting to you though, right, Vince, since you're a plant guy? Nightshade turns violently to face Amos, his face flushed with anger. I study vascular plants, noble ones, with the dignity to stand using their own turgor. I would never spend a moment of my time with barely evolved slime molds. So you don't know what it's called? Ew. I probably wouldn't want to study those things either. Yuck. Well, now I'm starting to feel bad for the little guy. Everybody's teaming up against him. It's not a him, it's an it, Amos. Precisely, Gales, and I want it dead. Maybe we should have some antifungal spray around here somewhere. No need. Nightshade draws a ray gun from the inside pocket of his lab coat. Oh gosh. Whoa! Hey now, Vince, be careful with that thing. Please, this isn't a lethal weapon. Then what is it? It's a ray that gives sentience to non-sentient life. My own invention. Still a test in stages. Amos and I share a confused glance. I wanted to know my name when I set it on fire. Nightshade pulls out a small cigarette lighter and holds it in his other hand. Great snakes. Okay, I'm just gonna put this in the garbage. With that, Amos pulls the drawer free and heads out the back door with the dumpster. That was a lot, Dark. Nightshade holsters his ray gun and lighter with a dismissive sniff. Never dirty your hands when you can make a fool to do it for you. What? I hear the metallic clang of a heavy dumpster lid being dropped closed in the alleyway. Oh, so it was all a bluff. Nightshade doesn't respond, just flashes me a sort of wicked smile before getting back to his cleaning. Not super sure what that means. Not super sure I want to find out. Nice. After we are done cleaning, the shop seems a little more put together. It's easier to imagine it open, but still, would I really be able to achieve that by Monday? So, when are we being fed? Don't be rude. But he's right. I'm hungry. Yeah, we should get some grub. Pizza? Bless you! No, it's a food. Never mind. Hey, do not worry. I will make us a feast. I don't think we have that many ingredients around. We follow Klaus up to the kitchen. There's some snack foods lit around the counters, but nothing you can make a dinner out of. At least, not now that I've graduated college. I can make a meal out of anything. Klaus walks over to the refrigerator to see what he had to work with. It's so funny every time. Perhaps not. We'll go grocery shopping tomorrow. I could go for a pizza. Been a while since I got a nice pie. I look around and everyone seems to be nodding along, even if some of their faces clearly have no idea what he's talking about. Oh, pies! Let's get apple! I'm a strawberry man myself. Pizza is a savory food. It's got, like, cheese. I'm sure you guys will like it. Everyone likes pizza, as long as no one has any allergies. Amos looks around the crowd, but most of them look confused. What is an allergy? A weakness. One I will not be sharing with the likes of you. So, is that a yes or no on the allergies? Don't put any cheese on mine. It took some time, but we settled on 4 large pizzas and a smaller one for Doctor Nightshade. Oh boy, this is gonna eat up the money my auntie left. Still, it's sort of nice eating together like this. What charming food stuff! Klaus still seems to be haunted by what he saw in the fridge. Aye, this pie is magnificent. Mac is 3/4 of the way through a large pizza and eating like he's expecting one of the others to swoop down and swipe his plate from him, maybe because he's eyeing Rosamille's leftovers. Good thing we got so many pizzas. Nightshade keeps picking toppings off of his pizza. He's the one who picked them. You don't like the onions? Or the tomatoes? Normally, I prefer my own strains of vegetables. These are subpar. Oh, what kind of vegetables do you normally have? Strain A17, B52 is particularly good with this kind of carbohydrate-based food. Strain A17? Sorry. It's a kind of bitter leaf vegetable based on crops found in the Andromeda Galaxy. It's hardy in low temperatures, which makes it ideal for cultivation. He has a lot to say about his work with space plants that honestly I don't understand. He looks really happy to have someone listen to him, though. You sure are knowledgeable about pizza, buddy. And that brief happiness is gone. Still, it's nice to have a lively meal. Food always tastes better when you share it with other people. It's sort of funny how quickly we've begun to get along, like we had known each other for a long time. Pretty soon, the pizza is gone and they file out of the kitchen. The day was over, and as extraordinary as it was, I think it was a good one. Beep, beep, beep. My alarm goes off and I groan, hiding my head under the pillow. Shut up, I'm sleeping. I try to sleep without turning it off, just in case I can get away with not moving a muscle for the next 15 minutes. Beep, beep, beep. Turn off that blasted racket. Gail's is sleeping, Doctor. Shh. Not my fault. I hear heavy tramping outside my door, then bam, bam, bam. Wake up, Gales, or at least silence that noise. Well, here's to a brand new day. I get dressed quickly and head to the kitchen, still rubbing sleep from my eyes. Everyone else seems to be there already, but at different stages of awakeness. Good morning, Gales. Sleep well? Hello! Don't you look radiant today? Morning. Awesome. What took you so long? Morning, guys. Don't you look chipper? Well, some of you. What's on the docket for What's on the docket for today, Gales? I take the crumpled schedule out of my pocket and squint at it. The to-do list. Day 1, clean up the place. Taken care of. Day 2, buy supplies. See back a note for a list of what we need. Looks like we gotta go shopping. I hear a few stomachs growl, and I think we better go soon. I'm starving. I'll be keen to keep cleaning around the shop while you're gone. I hate dealing with fishmongers and the like. And I'm going back to sleep. I was up till all hours last night working. Oh no, I'm not carrying all the groceries back alone. I'll help. Me too! Thank you, but no exceptions. Everyone be ready in the car in 20 minutes. We were all packed up and ready to go about 45 minutes. It was a tight fit in the car, but we made it. I don't know how much space there's going to be for groceries, though. Okay, guys, well, now that we're here, I think it's time for a little divide and conquer. Always a good strategy for catching your enemies unawares. Yeah, well, in this case our enemies are tomatoes. We need supplies for the display case, and food for our, food. So let's split into 2 teams. Mac, Nightshade, and Klaus begin to grumble amongst themselves, while Amos and Rosamel listen with rapt attention. Okay guys, how about Rosamel and I go find all the craft supplies, while Klaus and Nightshade put their cooking and botany skills together to pick out the freshest ingredients for Gales. And why don't you tag along with them, Mac? It'll be good for you to socialize. Is that so? Yeah, great idea, Amos. What should I do? You can go with whoever you like. Okay, I'm going to go get like a dozen toothbrushes because I assume that you guys didn't pack any. Do you still need to brush your teeth? Being fictional and all, I mean. They all look at me. Yes, no. What's that? You know what? I'm gonna go grab a lot of soap too while I'm at it. We disperse and I head off to the hygiene aisle. After I grab what I need here, I'll catch back up with one of the other groups. I'll go join Nightshade. I am putting the last of my deodorants into the cart when I hear a sharp Oh, Doctor, you scared me. What's up? Where are Mac and Klaus? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you about. They're up to shenanigans. Shenanigans? Shenanigans. That's what I said. Keep up. I raise my eyebrow at him and he adjusts his goggles. I'm asking you to intervene before they make more of a scene than they already have. My stomach drops. A scene? My mind immediately goes all the way to all the ways those 2 meatheads could be beating each other to a pulp. Hurry, or I won't be responsible for what happens while you're dawdling. I drop the deodorants into the cart and follow him. You think you're the big man around town, do ye? Just wait and see, I'll wipe the floor with ye. A test of strength. I am undefeated. Then kiss your record goodbye, matey, her. I skitter around the corner, picking up speed when I hear the fight is about to start, only to be greeted by something completely unexpected. Let the games begin! First pepper! Klaus and Mac are standing at the free samples counter with a platter of various chili peppers lined up in front of them. You see, buffoons. What are they doing? Oh, Gales! Perfect timing! Judge our little contest. Agreed. We need an impartial witness. Don't indulge them, please. Without waiting for my answer, Klaus and Mac both lower the peppers into their mouths. Child's play! Next pepper! They pop the next one into their mouths. The lady behind the counter is giggling and filming them on our phone. Hardly a tickle. Gales, please kill me. Another! Spicier! They both pick up the third and final pepper and they're shaking hands, both hesitating to eat. You gonna back down, you chicken-hearted bilge rat. I don't flinch. They down their peppers. Arrgh! Never mind, I think the peppers got them first. Oh my god. I rush over to check on them. The lady behind the counter is cracking too hard to help. Gales. Who won? Nobody won. We all lost. What are you doing? Klaus and Mac look at me for a moment, then slump to the floor. Especially me, since I had to see the thing from the start. Thanks for coming to get me, Nightshade. At least now I know why I have to lug 2 dead bodies out of a supermarket. At your service. Though really, I just didn't want to have to do that myself. Nightshade walks off with the cart and the shopping list. I don't think he's coming back. We managed to get everything we needed from the store and somehow make it back to the bookshop in one trip. Once everything has been put in its proper place, the guys turn to me for guidance. What now? That's all we had to get done today, so I guess we get the rest of the day off. Finally, a break. If you need us for anything else, just tell us. I won't have to. I'm going on break too. I need to relax. Well, if you need us for any help relaxing, just tell us. Alright. The boys scatter and I return to my room. I flop into my bed and scroll through my phone for a while. The time gets away from me and I decide I have got to find something more fun to do with my day before it's over. I just have to decide what. So we're going to the Botanic Garden. I look at my little cactus, and the next thing I know, I'm checking my phone to see if there's a Botanic Garden nearby. I could use the fresh air and change of scenery. Sure enough, it's not far from here at all as a place I can visit. If I'm going to see plants, it feels silly not to invite my new botanist friend along. Yes, let's go see if Nightshade's free. Klaus and Nightshade are in the kitchen, staring at the snacks like they haven't seen them before. I guess it's likely they haven't. Don't touch that. I'm taking inventory. Klaus puts back down the box of cookies he had been inspecting. The hard carbohydrate levels in one of these is repulsive, but efficient. Right. Are you two in the middle of something? As if. Please refrain from associating me with this oaf. Do you need something? Yikes, what a set of glares. These two are so intimidating. I steal my own gaze and toss my hair to seem more confident. I was going to ask you to go with me to see the local botanical garden, but you seem to have your hands full trying to understand cookies. Maybe Klaus would appreciate it more. Klaus? He wouldn't know a pistol from a lugal. I nod, pretending I know the difference myself. Even so, I turn to Klaus, who looks like he really doesn't know what's happening. You interested? Doctor Nightshade practically jumps over the table. No! Don't take this, meathead! I must go with you, Gales. So far, the monocultures you keep in front of your domiciles have been an affront to every ecosystem ever devised, and I refuse to believe that is the extent of this plant's flora. Well, I suppose if you're going to beg me... I have done no such thing. Then I guess it's you and me, Klaus. Despite getting exactly what he wanted, Nightshade still looks like he lost. Are you ready to have some fun, Doctor? I would hardly call this fun. It's research. Sorry, I'm listening to the music. Alright, you could go look at it as research, or you could look at it as fun search. No. He looks so disgusted I can't help but giggle. It's much too nice of a day to let a grumpy little scientist bring down the mood. The sun is unusually warm for the season, and the flowers are clearly loving it. Bright pink flowers dot the grass along the winding cobblestone path up to the greenhouse. Sure. Oh, I can be your assistant. No. Please, come on. I pull a little notepad and pen out of my bag and assume a very serious expression. Your notes are safe with me, Doctor. Alright, Gales, you can help me record my observations. I suppose it'll keep you from getting in my way. Nice. I pump my fist and grab his hand, dragging him onto the path towards the flowers. Have you ever seen plants like this before, Doctor? Flowering dickets? How revolutionary. No, silly. Look at the petals. Kind of look like insects. That's sort of sci-fi, like you. Sci-fi? Don't worry about it. See, this sign says they're called Ophrys apifera, the bee orchid. Yes, many kinds of flora mimic pollinators or other attractants to raise the chances of reproduction. Wow, that's incredible. Nature really does find a way, huh? Yes, well, infinite variety leads to an infinity of adaptations. An equally fascinating fact is that the species of bee this plant is trying to attract is now extinct. It serves as the only record of what the insect might have looked like. Oh. Oh? Don't you think that's a little lonely? A flower can't be lonely. I don't know, it's kind of like the poor thing is all alone, calling out to the world, waiting for a response that won't come, mimicking a love it'll never have, you know? It makes me sad. I have never been one to anthropomorphize. Of course, sorry, it's just a thought. I don't want to say that, that's kind of mean. Pretty unscientific, huh? Well, yes, but... He looks back at the flower, and the way it sways in the breeze really makes it look like it's waiting for someone. Any curiosity in the natural sciences is a place to start. Better to think unscientifically than not at all. It could lead to something. Thanks, I think. Whatever. I think he's showing a little bit of a Sundari side, you know, a little shyness there. It's cute. Cute. He wanders further down the path toward the greenhouse. Think there's anything interesting in there? Hardly. There's nothing here so far that has impressed me. We head inside and Nightshade stops dead in his tracks. The room is filled with showy and colorful exotic plants from all over the world. Lush green foliage spills over the rims of pots and the siding of ornate pots, all vying for attention. But it's clear Nightshade only has eyes for one plant in particular. What is that? What is what? That tree there, in the back. The apple tree? I think they just keep that for shade and to make candy apples. Apple tree. It's gorgeous. Huh? I'm not sure how to react to that. Sure, I suppose it's really well maintained, but it's just kind of a regular apple tree. There are loads of these around here. There's an orchard just outside of town, I think. An entire orchard! Gales, I must have it. What, you want an apple? No, I need the whole thing. The entire tree from root to leaf tip. I don't think it's for sale. Sale? Oh, I'm not interested in buying it. Huh? If I have to spell this out for you anymore, I don't think you're going to be my assistant. You can't mean... I lower my voice to a whisper. You can't mean you want to steal it. I think you'll find I do, and I will. Nightshade is rolling up his sleeves. You grab it by the branches, and I'll take the pot. Okay, we did agree to be his assistant. I thought you'd never ask. I jump over the barricade and help him pick up the tree as quickly as I can. With both of us carrying one side of the pot, we make our escape. I love this image. It's so funny. His expression, the pose, it's just great. Very great. Even the blurriness of the background to show the speed, it's all great. People stare at us as we blaze past in a cloud of falling leaves and apples, but I can't really hear him over his cackling. I don't know what made me do it, but something about the excitement in Nightshade's eyes made it impossible to refuse. He just lights up when something really catches his eye. We run in perfect synchronization, hopping over planters and barricades until we burst through the doors again in a cloud of leaves and potting soil. This is nuts! I've never so much as stolen a pin from a hotel before, and now I'm running out of a botanical garden with a whole tree in my hands. This is science! He looks over at me as we make a break toward my car, bystanders jumping out of the way and security guards calling after us. I am struck with the full focus of that excited gaze and my heart skips a beat. I can't help my widening grin. I feel giddy. we stuff the tree into my car and drive off, tires squealing as I round the corner at high speed. We're officially criminals now. We pull into my parking space at the shop and for the first time take a moment to catch our breaths. I catch a glimpse of the tree in my rearview mirror. Is this how I begin my life of crime, as a leaf thief stealing plants from public spaces? I let out a few lingering, breathless chuckles and attempt to pick out the leaves from my hair. Nightshade reaches over and plucks one stuck near my ear, his hand brushing almost imperceptibly against my cheek. Not bad. My eyes flicker over at his face, my skin tingling where he touched it. His face turns red and he twitches like a ghost is leaving his body, and he's only now regaining awareness. Aww. Relatively speaking. You're not bad yourself, Doc. He's already slipping out of the car as I giggle. I watch him awkwardly carry the tree into the shop and sigh fondly. He's a unique one, that's for sure. He is. He is a character and he is wonderful. What a day. I pretty much collapse into my bed and fall asleep almost instantly. I blink awake, still half asleep enough to not even gasp in surprise when I see Nightshade sitting there. Doctor? Nightshade clears his throat. Oh, good. You're awake. The others have already made quite the mess. I thought it was only fair for me to come warn you. I glance at my clock and see it's later than I usually get up. I must have forgotten to set my alarm. Aw, you came to wake me up? With your mind? I was temporarily distracted. You were watching me sleep. I was studying your sleep patterns. Sure. The spirit of research overtook me. I cannot help my inquisitive nature, nor would I choose to. It's what made me the scientist I am today, and it is not as though I find your face an unpleasant subject. Aw, that's like the closest, nicest thing he said to us. This is pretty close to a compliment, I mean. We've wasted enough time. Get ready and come downstairs. On it, Doc. I get ready for the day, going through my usual morning routine. When I get downstairs, everyone is waiting in the shop. Hey guys, good morning. There's a little chorus of greetings in response. I look around and see that all the craft supplies are out and ready to be used. I use the checklist to make sure we're on track. To-do list! Day 1, clean up the place. Done. Day 2, buy supplies, see back a note for list of what we need. Yep, did that. Day 3, design something fun for the display case. Getting an early start on the display? We didn't want to start without you, but yeah, we thought it would be nice to be ready. But then we couldn't agree on how to do it. Or rather, they couldn't see the fact that my idea was best. I could see some people, Mac, getting ready to argue again, so I step in. Well, Rosamel and Amos had a great idea in the store, you know, the one with the cornucopia of books. Oh yeah, we can do that, no problem. Why should we do their idea? What are the rest of us supposed to contribute? Labor? Yes. I'm an ideas man. I don't know what a cornucopia is. There's a general murmur of uncertainty among Matt, Klaus, and Nightshade. Alright, I'll pick randomly instead. Is that fair? More fair than picking favorites. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. The boys take the ritual very seriously. I plan it so it ends on Amos. Call me a cheat, but I value everything going smoothly over the sacred integrity of eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I demand a recount. I suspect foul play. Let it go, lad. Even the fates think your idea is the worst. Gasp. It's only fair. Hardly. But it's your call, shop. If you want an ugly display, I suppose it's your call. Thanks. Here, why don't we all make the background, and each of you can make... Why don't I make the background, and each of you get to make one decoration to add to the display, whatever you want. That seems to appease them. At least then they seem satisfied nobody's contributing more than the others. I was thinking of showcasing all your genres in the window display, so why don't you just make something to represent yourself? I think we can handle that. What do you say, boys? Fine. A simple enough task. Aye, not a problem. What fun! I breathe a sigh of relief as everyone starts digging through the craft supplies. Now I can get a start on the bulk windows display. Shouldn't be too hard. It's a mid-afternoon by the time I get to the table set up. Now the worst part is trying to decide whether or not to put nails in the wall. I decide it has to be done. I'm up on a ladder, arm cocked to the hammer and the first nail, when I feel a tug on the hem of my sweater. Amos is standing there, a shy smile on his face. Here, gals. Hope you like it. Amos hands me a diorama. It's a mystery scene covered in tiny footprints and three-dimensional clues. It's really adorable and detailed. I would bet there is actually a solvable mystery laid out in it. That's incredible. I bet Bucky always had the best project in class. Well, I can never stop myself from helping a little. Oh, and I have Max here, too. He holds out an intricately carved wooden ship. He was too shy to bring it over himself. Don't be telling tales about me, Easterbrook. I look over toward the window where Mac is sitting and he immediately looks away. I giggle. It's beautiful, Mac. Ought to be. I climb down off the ladder and place the two pieces on the table. I'll set them up more intentionally when I've got all of them. I give them a little nod and I'm just about to climb back up the ladder when... Give it over, you great buffoon! What? I whip my head around to see Nightshade trying to wrestle a hot glue gum out of Klaus's hands. It looks a little bit like a squirrel trying to scramble through a brick rock. I rush over. What's going on here? Not that it's any of your affair, but I'm trying to finish my display element, and this idiot is hogging the bonding agent. My horse. He holds out two halves of a crudely molded clay horse. It could really use some glue right about now. See? But it might be easier if you just fix it with more clay. It's not too dry yet. While Klaus is distracted, Nightshade snatches the glue gun from his hands. That's what I've been trying to tell him. Nightshade takes the gun and attaches a few more rhinestones to the pot of some alien-looking plant he's gotten from who knows where. The pot is shakily painted to look like some galaxy I couldn't guess the name of, and the rhinestones are presumably stars. They're accurate, too. Huh? The stars in the pot, they're an accurate map of my galaxy. A rhinestone becomes unstuck and falls to the floor. With a somewhat generous margin of error. Wow, that's really incredible, Doctor. I can't believe... How do you like my horse? Oh. Klaus is holding out his horse, now reunited as a single piece by a band of clay wrapped around its middle. It's lovely, Klaus. Nay. Nightshade and I stare at Klaus as he gives the horse a little shake. Its two halves start sliding apart again. Poor thing. Ta-da! Just then, something sticky is plopped on my head. I yelp in horror as some of the goo runs into my hair. Rosamel! He gasps dramatically. Oh my! You're beautiful! I take the thing off my head to see what he's talking about. It's a paper crown cut rather clumsily with all sorts of bits and bobs glued on. Aren't you an artist? A poet! I don't normally do this kind of stuff, but it's pretty, isn't it? It brings out your eyes. It's unique. Oh, I need those. Klaus reaches over and plucks two googly eyes right off the crown. Ah! What? At the sound of the scream, Max stands up suddenly, smacking his head against the bookcase beside him. The bookcase starts to tilt. Uh-oh. Amos and Mac try to keep the bookcase from falling over. Give it back, you cretin! I glance back and see Nightshade and Klaus are fighting over the glue gun again, with Rosamel tugging on Klaus's other arm, desperately pleading for his jewels back. I guess it went as well as I could have expected, but I did get some very cute little trinkets out of it for the display once the chaos died down. After cleaning up the mess we made, I throw myself down onto the bedspread, pulling out my aunts list to cross off the final item. I was really worried when I first saw everything she wanted me to do in one weekend, but it wasn't so hard. It didn't hurt that I have 5 more helpers than I was expecting. This weekend has been so busy, I feel like I barely got to know them. As tired as I am, I sit up in bed determined to go spend some more time with one of the guys before they have to go home tomorrow. Who should it be? Nightshade, of course. I wonder how that tree is doing. Getting stolen must have been hard on the poor thing. I'll just ask Dr. Nightshade. Dr. Nightshade! I call down the stairs and check through a few rooms, but he's nowhere to be found. Huh, I guess he's not here. I saw him putting on this coat not 5 minutes ago, hon. I jumped a little when Rosamel popped out his head out of the kitchen, a cookie between his teeth. Thanks, Rosamel. Any idea where he's headed? No. I frowned and Rosamel looks distraught like he somehow failed me. But they can't have gotten far. I'll go out and fetch him. I smile a little and wave him off. I'll go, don't worry. I just had a question for him. Enjoy your snack. I turn, pull on my coat and shoes, and head out the door into the crisp autumn air. I'm only walking for a moment before I see a lab coat a block ahead of me. Dr. Nightshade, please wait up. Nightshade whirls around and sees me. I almost didn't expect him to wait, but he does. I do a little jog to catch up to him. Hey, Doctor. Where are you headed? Gales, not that it's any of your concern, but I have some comparative studies to conduct. Huh? I need data, information, so I can get my experiments to work. The thing you're doing with the tree we stole? Yes, put crudely. The thing I'm doing is proving unpredictable, and I want more Earth data to compare it to. So you're going to the apple orchard? That'd be my guess. For soil and plant samples and all that stuff? Precisely. Glad to see you're keeping up. I try my best. You need an assistant? I suppose you were an adequate help on our last field assignment. All right. I will allow you to accompany me. Can't wait. But just so you know, it's in the other direction. Let's take the car. See, we're helping already, Nightshade. By the quarks, this orchard is an oasis, divine beauty among filth. It seems like a pretty average apple orchard to me, but the way Nightshade was looking at it, you'd think he was looking at the Holy Grail. I'll grab us a basket. You choose a tree to pick, okay? Fine. Just be quick about it. Nightshade grabs a carpet bag from the car, and it jingles delicately as he races across the orchard in search of a perfect specimen. All right, then. I pay the orchard owner and make my way to his side. He's busied himself taking soil cores and tree cores and apple cores. He's coring everything in sight. Whoa, watch it. You almost cored my foot there. Apologies. I see you're back with the basket. Well, start harvesting. I need samples. Yes, sir. I wait until my back is to him before I crack a smile. He seems genuinely excited to be here. While Nightshade is examining the trunk of the tree, I look up to see where I should start picking. Uh-oh. All the apples are pretty high up there. Someone had already picked all the low-hanging fruit. Say, Doc, could you give me a boost? Nightshade looks between me, the tree, and himself, not sure what to say. His face turns apple red. Such physical activity is beneath me. Come on, they're your samples. Do you want them or not? You figure it out. That's your job as my assistant. I raise my eyebrow, suddenly piecing it together. Can't do it, huh? I have always worked to strengthen my mind. Your arms, however. He can't look me in the eye. Aw, not my strong suit. It's okay. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. It's all good. No shame in admitting it. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen him so bashful. He usually thinks he's the best at everything. It's kind of cute. Yeah, it is. Sure, we can... Why don't I lift him? Yeah. No problem, I'll just lift you. I will not subject to such humiliation. Hey, I don't care either way, but if you want those samples, someone's gonna have to get lifted. I can see the gears turning at breakneck speed in Nightshade's head. He's trying to get out of this, but he's trapped. Very well, Gales, but we will never speak of this again. I smile at him, victorious. I kneel down low enough for him to throw a leg over my shoulder and climb aboard. Then I stand back up, his added weight barely making me stumble. You weren't kidding, Doc. You really are light. Stepladders do not speak. He smacks the top of my head lightly, at the same time gripping my shoulders for dear life. Careful now, don't fall. It sounded like he was talking more to himself than to me. Hiding my laughter, I walk under the tree and allow him to direct me to the best apples. That should be sufficient. Let me down. Please. Aw, he said please. I do as I'm told, and he's back on the ground, pretending not to be shaken. Assistant, fetch me my equipment. I'll run the test here. I hop to and grab the carpet bag from where he had been sitting before. Now, if the DNA of this apple differs in the nucleotides I predict, all will be clear to me. Nightshade scans the apple with some kind of machine I couldn't hope to identify. Superheated Narfuckle pellets. What's wrong? This refutes my hypothesis. What hypothesis? My hypothesis about why everything has been going wrong. Let's do... I can't help you unless you let me in. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't help you unless you let me in on what you're thinking. Look! Aw, very nice image. Cute little apple with hearts on it. Huh? This apple, I've been trying to develop a new strain of apples that will keep during interstellar travel, but no matter what I do, the changes are purely aesthetic. They flower too long, each iteration a new shade of brilliant color that's of no scientific use. They grow ornamental vines and whimsically twisted trunks. And worst of all the apples come out this ridiculous shape. Sounds like you've been distracted, Doctor. Impossible. By what? You? You tell me. Well, I like the apples. I think they're cute. There's nothing wrong with the project being less than utilitarian. I take the apple from his hand and take a bite. It's sweet. I don't think your problem needs fixing, Doctor. With that, Nightshade heads back to the car. We don't speak the whole ride home, but I could tell he was thinking over what I said, even if he would never admit it. It's only when we pull up the store when Nightshade finally speaks up. I think you may be right. Well, I never expected to hear that coming from you. I have been distracted. I don't know what I was thinking. This was all a mistake, Gales. I never should have left my book. The decorating and crafting and socializing, these silly games aren't like me. I mean, you see the way I behave. It doesn't come naturally to me. What? Nightshade, what are you talking about? Did I tease him too much? I didn't think he was so self-conscious. The feelings you cause in me, they're troublesome. Nuisance. They're keeping me from my work. Nightshade, wait. I follow him inside, but he ignores me as he makes his way towards his makeshift bathroom lab. I stand outside the door. This is all so sudden. I'm not sure what's come over him. Does it really bother you that much to think you might like me? Or is this apple experiment really that important? We'll do this. You. I don't have time for this. A tattered old paperback is slid under the door. Huh? If you must be nosy, you can do your own research. I've got more important work to do than explain myself. I pick up the book hesitantly. I give the door one last glance before taking it into my room. I curl up on my beanbag chair and sigh. I wanted to read his book, but not under these circumstances. But whatever's going on with him, it doesn't seem like it's easy for him to talk about. This thing is so beat up. I open up the yellowing pulp pages and began to read. Ooh, very cool. The brittleness of scientific observation can sometimes creep into the hearts of men, and noble men of altruistic intent. While the power of this cold reason is the architect of our modern world, it cannot be employed without the warm guidance of a human heart. Then there's some opening music from the author, where he references Shakespeare, Ayn Rand, and himself? Huh. 7 screens, each 5 feet across and mounted in a circle, pour their cold, staticky light into the council room. A man stands in the center of them, his pulpit still shadowed, his face obscured. Gentlemen of the Science Council, We have convened at this time to discuss a matter of grave importance. The honor and reputation of the council has been jeopardized by the actions of one man. Dr. Vincent Nightshade, a man who, were he any who but who he is, would stand public trial for his crimes against the council and God. However, as it stands, he has been the face of our institution for over a decade. He has been our brightest star and greatest success. Even at his young age, his genetic work with plants have put a significant dent in the issue of world hunger. Therefore, we must make a decision. We cannot let his actions come to light, but we cannot allow him to continue unpunished. The screens began to murmur among themselves, unsure of what was best. What evidence exists of his crimes? How can we be sure that what we have been told is true? One of the monitors asked. We have eyewitness testimonies from a very reliable source, Dr. Nightshade's assistant, J.C. Nickelbacker. Come forward. A boy, no older than 18, steps into the circle, his head bowed and his eyebrows furrowed in fear. It's true, Councilman. Dr. Nightshade has done what he is accused of. The things he has created in his lab are unspeakable. He will not stop until hunger is eliminated, but his methods... His previous work has inspired me so much that I am loath to speak out against him. The boy looks up at the council, terror in his eyes. But now, I fear for his safety. I have tried to counsel him, but he has cut me off and isolated himself in his lab. I have not been able to reach him for the last 3 weeks. He has gone mad, and I am sure that he will turn his terrible experiments upon himself next. For his own safety and for the safety of this planet, I urge you to help him. Tears fall from the boy's eyes as he pleads to the screens above him. You see, gentlemen, that we must act quickly, but with a measured hand. Vincent has been led astray. The time to act is now. The screens flash red, and a robotic voice sounds over the speakers. Banishment. The book goes on to describe how the council functions, and then how the futuristic society as a whole functions, and it's a little time before we get back to Nightshade. When we do, he's arrived on Planet X. He was brought by a fully automated ship, and the nearest manned satellite was a galaxy away. Dr. Nightshade is unmoved by this tremendous upheaval. Exiled in distant space, he's as strong in his convictions as ever, perhaps even more so. Very cool, very bright and colorful. Fine, send me away, Nightshade sneers at his ship. See if I care. Why, you've only removed me from the distractions of modern life. I will be more dedicated than ever, dedicated to doing what no one else has the guts to do. Do you hear me? I will return when I am victorious in achieving what no one else could. A wicked laugh tears through him, growing louder and wilder. Then you'll see, it's not me you fear, it's progress. Though whether or not anyone could hear him was truthfully unknown to Nightshade, in all likelihood he was completely alone, abandoned to the cosmos. Whether he was in denial, or truly unaware of his madness, it no longer seemed to matter. It's hard to get that image out of my mind, as I keep reading, Nightshade laughing into oblivion. I guess I always knew he was a mad scientist, but it feels exploitative to show his breakdown like this when you know the guy personally. It's like I want to yell at the narrator to not talk about him that way. The following chapters dive into techno-babble that doesn't really mean anything, but I get the basics of it. The planet has limited small animal life, but it's lush with plants, and Nightshade is able to continue his experiments. When it isn't difficult to read because of the pseudoscience, it's difficult to read because the narrator keeps hammering home how Nightshade has lost everything, like he deserved it. The rest of the book is a slow build in Nightshade's experiments as he gets closer and closer to his goal, though as I watch it unfold, he seems to be getting further. Very pretty. Like a greenhouse. The thing in the petri dish has grown to about 3 feet in height overnight. The formula worked. Dr. Nightshade runs his hands through his hair in exhausted delight. It's finally happening. He kneels down next to the thing and checks the leaves for signs of disease or rot. There are none. You don't know this, but your life is going to save mine, and millions of others. Once the Science Council sees you, they will know that my work isn't madness. It isn't hubris. It is genius. Divine genius. But over the next 3 days, as Nightshade becomes more confident in his formula, as he adds more and more to the plant, it keeps growing in size and hunger. Nightshade starts noticing that other test subjects begin disappearing, and soon, mysterious pools of blood are seen near the plant. It has been trapping and eating the little animals that come to investigate its sweet scent. And soon it gets big enough to come after Nightshade. Uh-oh. How could this have happened? Nightshade cries, trying to free himself from the plant creature's tendrils as they creep closer to his throat. With his last burst of strength, he drives his scalpel into the creature's flesh. It shrieks in pain and releases him. Nightshade tries to think quickly. Is it possible to contain it? Was there something of his work that he could salvage? Perhaps if he... The creature bellows in rage and begins to drag itself forward, blindly following the vibrations of Nightshade's panicked footfalls. There is no other way. Nightshade rushes over to his lab bench and selects a gaunt of chemicals, then rushing towards the exit, he shatters the vials on the ground, unlocks the door for the first time in months, steps out into the jungle, and sets the place ablaze. He can hear it screaming in there. Its senses are limited to the feeling of burning pain, without the understanding of what it is causing it. There is no escape. Oh my god. I trust you understand, Gills. This is why I cannot allow myself any distractions. I jolt a little in surprise at the sound of his voice. He's standing in the corner of the room, looking smaller than usual. He must have crept in while I was absorbed in the story. Nightshade. What you just read was a major setback in my work. I'm close to a breakthrough now. I can feel it. I don't think that was the takeaway here, or is that really how you feel? We'll go with this one. What? You were left all alone, and then your life's work blows up in your face. Thanks. I'm sorry, I mean, haven't you had enough of this? It hasn't been working the way you want it to. When a test keeps coming up negative, shouldn't you, change the variables? Change the... The lone wolf thing didn't help you. It hurt you, and it hurt your work. I know you've got big goals, and you're really crazy smart, but you're still just one person. It's okay to not be able to do everything by yourself. And even if you did achieve what you were trying to, I don't think they would have taken you back. I regret the words the second they're out of my mouth. Nightshade visibly winces. Aw. I suppose I'm asking too much to expect you to see my point of view. No one ever does. Have you ever let someone really try? It doesn't matter. I'm just not cut out for that sort of thing. Whatever you think our relationship was, or might have become, it's not possible. Are you dumping me? Is that how you feel? Well, I don't mind. You can think whatever you'd like to about me. I'm sure I've been painted worse. In fact, knowing you thought we were that close is... You know what they told me when I was dismissed? That I had no regard for other people. No regard, as if I didn't. Everything I ever did was out of love for every person on this miserable dying rock. Of course I care. Of course I love. Of course I love you. I try to think, and all I can picture is your face. I want to listen to the recordings of my notes, and all I hear is your voice. The apples are a disaster because I've been making them for you. He stops to catch his breath and process the words he's been blurting out. There's a dawning horror on his face. Nightshade? Doctor? What an expression. I think he's short-circuited. Aw. I put a comforting hand on his shoulder and smiled gently at him. Gee, Doc, I didn't think it would take all this to put you on mute. I giggle as his eyebrows furrow, but his brain still can't reconnect to his mouth. Still laughing, I kiss him gently. I can feel him jolt instinctively before he melts, almost completely, and wraps his arms around my waist in a surprisingly forward gesture. He holds me close for a short moment before pulling away, his angry expression ruined by his barely concealed smile and deep blush. You really are troublesome, aren't you? I have been called quite a distraction before. You really made those apples for me. If I had the chance to redo, I'm not sure I would put it so sentimentally. No take-back, Doc. I suppose that's all right. Just this once. Just don't let the word get out. I've got a spotless reputation as an evil scientist. I'd rather not lose over apples. They're just apples, then. Just apples. Aw. Cute. When I wake up, I can't help the warm, fuzzy feeling inside of me, curling my lips into a smile and my toes against the bedsheet. He certainly hasn't made it easy, but Nightshade was mine now, and I was his, and everything just felt so right. That was until I turned over in bed and realized he wasn't there. Nightshade? After all that, he's going to do me like this? Oh no, no way. I refuse to be played by anybody, and certainly not by Dr. Vincent Asimov Nightshade. I steel myself with a deep breath and get ready for war. When I enter the kitchen, the guys are finishing up breakfast. Well, most of the guys. Nightshade is picking at his plate. Hiya, Gales. How'd you sleep? In a thorn bed. Nightshade doesn't look up, but he wilts under my glare anyway. His face is tomato red. The other guys glance around uncomfortably until Amos claps his hands together. All right, well, I think it's about time we skedaddle. What do you say, fellas? The guys murmur in agreement and follow him out of the room. All the guys but Nightshade. I follow them without sparing him another look. I'll miss you terribly, dear, if you're ever unsatisfied. That is to say, if you ever need a hand, I'm only a magic spell away. Rosamel blows a kiss before jumping into his book, disappearing in a flash of light. Like he said, or, not exactly like he said, but you know what I mean. Uh-huh. Good luck with, everything. Amos follows suit after Rosamel. Right, best of luck to you both. Right, yeah, thanks. It's a little embarrassing to have everyone so aware of my affairs, but I'm pissed off enough for it to not bother me. Gales. Yeah, Klaus? I think the doctor is... He likes you. I can't help but smile at that. Yeah, I kind of figured. I don't think that sort of thing is easy for him. You're right again, Klaus. Klaus nods a little, opening his book. Bye, Klaus. Goodbye, Gales. Klaus didn't really say much, and he didn't say anything I didn't already know, but I feel like I needed to hear it anyway. I head back upstairs. Nightshade is exactly where I left him, as if he was a cardboard cutout. Gales. Doctor. I am at a loss for words again. This never used to happen to me. Because this has never happened to you, right? Aw. I'm your first love, aren't I? I had work to do. Important work. I had never had time for frivolities. The little smile playing at my mouth quickly turns upside down. Really, Nightshade? I didn't mean... I used to be good at everything, and now it feels like I can't do anything right. I'm always stumbling in front of you, humiliating myself, humiliating you. I used to think I was as good as they come, but I saw you laying there this morning and all I could think was, you deserve more than Vincent Asimov Nightshade, failed scientist, alien in exile. Aww. A little disbelieving chuckle escapes my lips. I start walking closer to him. And what if I don't want more than Vincent Asimov Nightshade? Looks like you made another miscalculation, Doc. I'm being serious. So am I. I thought I made my feelings clear last night. I reach over and brush his hair from his face. He finally manages to meet my eye. I'm not the man I wish I was. You're the man I love, though. I don't care if you fail. Sometimes it's pretty funny, actually. Yeah. Troublesome doesn't begin to cover you. What a pair we make, the failed scientist and the failed author. Speak for yourself, I'm just getting started. And anyway, we're both really good at lots of stuff. Such as... Well, causing trouble. You hit the nail on the head with that one. But we're also pretty good at this. I lean in for a kiss and I can feel his lips smile against mine. Aww. I can't believe I almost forgot. Today is the grand reopening of the shop, which means my aunt will be back any minute. How am I going to explain this? Yay, we did it. Okay. Yeah, that was really good. Really liked it. Awesome. Knew I would, of course. So yeah, not so much gonna focus on the review. I already did that. Still a 5 out of 5 game. Doubt that's gonna change. Because you can just tell. You just know. When the writing's good, it's good. It's there. The characters are all good. Really looking forward. I'm still gonna do Rosamel and Mac. I mean, not right now, obviously. Maybe a little bit later in the future. But probably gonna do Rosamel first. Specifically saving Mac for last, not because I dislike him or anything, but just because his voice is the hardest for me to do. the whole pirate accent thing, I struggle with that. So the more I practice, the better it'll be. Hopefully. At least it'll be passable. But yeah. So we'll do Rosamel next, later on, some other day in the near future. A couple weeks from now, maybe. And then we'll do Mac. Looking forward to it. But that's all for now, so thanks for watching. Bye!